Hello, today I was going to talk about Epcot, and let's do a walkthrough and see what all is there. Alright, so Epcot is undergoing a lot of changes, so I can't give you 100% up-to-date information because I think it kind of changes daily, weekly, and I am not there every day or every week, and so I do not know exactly what it is like at this moment, but I can tell you what it was like when we were there and kind of what's going to probably stay kind of the same, and then some things will change eventually. So let's go ahead and start with where you come into Epcot. Epcot is actually the only park that has two entrances. You can either come in, I'll show you the map. Okay, so here it is. You can either come in down here by the Epcot ball, or you can come in down here into the World Pavilion, and that is the Skyliner entrance. All right, so if you're coming in, parking your car, and just walking through like that because you drove and you parked, or if you're coming from the monorail, you will come in down by the ball. That is what that entrance is. And if you are coming from Boardwalk, Beach Club, Swan or Dolphin, or the Skyliner, then you will be coming in over here into the World, and that is where that entrance will come in. There is actually a walkway, the Skyliner station's there, and then there's a walkway that goes past all those hotels and actually connects to Hollywood Studios. So you actually could walk from Hollywood Studios as well, and you would come into that entrance if you were walking from over there. So those are the two entrances and why you would be at one or the other. If you have come from the monorail and you're just wanting to ride the Skyliners, you can leave through that exit and ride the Skyliners and then just come back in. So that is still an option. You don't have to be at a Skyliner resort to stay or to ride on a Skyliner. Same thing kind of for the monorail. You could do the same if you're coming from the Skyliner. All right, so let's kind of go over, I'm gonna start from coming in from the Epcot ball because, well, most people used to come in that way, but anymore with the Skyliner, I don't know, it's probably split pretty 50-50. Because the last few times we went, we actually came in on the Skyliner because all the resorts we stayed at brought us in that way. But, and well, the monorail was also down, so that kind of changed that up a little. But the monorail, I think, is technically still down, but it's supposed to be opening up soon. Their 50th is coming up soon, and a lot of this stuff should be up and running by the 50th, which is only a few weeks away. So I would think that that should be up and running very soon. Now, this map is probably their most current for the most part. There's a new restaurant that is opening up later this month, which is not on here, and I'm not sure where it is. My guess is it's over here somewhere, but I do not really know. It's the one that, I can't remember the name. It looks like a outer space theme. It looks really neat, but I'm guessing it'll go over there by like Mission Space and stuff. That would make the most sense to me. But all right, so when you come into Epcot, you can go either way, but you know, we usually come in up here, so I don't have like we do not have one set pattern. Epcot is kind of one of those where just, you never know. All right, so Epcot Ball is actually a ride. If you've not been before and you don't realize that, there is a ride in here. And it was supposed to actually be closing down for like 1.5 years for refurbishment, and they were going to change up the theming and stuff. But I think that's been put on hold, and I don't know when they're going to actually close it now. So I'm not sure, but that is scheduled to close at some point. There's some little shops up here as well. There's like a pin trading shop and a candy store, I think, and stuff. So there's a little bit up here in this main little hub area. Then you can just go slightly over and you have the Seas. And Epcot is kind of broken up into like different themes. And each themed area kind of has like its own stuff. So the Seas has the Finding Nemo ride, and it has the Coral Reef restaurant. It has an aquarium and some interactive stuff. There's Turtle Talk with Crush, and there's some other extra things you could do that you could pay extra for. We have not done any of those extra things, but I think you can like do more interactive things with the dolphins and the manatee and stuff like that. But so that is what's at the Seas. We pretty much just do Finding Nemo, and Turtle Talk with Crush was closed pretty much. It's been closed for a while, so we have not been able to do that, but it did just recently reopen, so that is another thing that you want to be sure to check out at least once. Finding Nemo ride is something we actually hit up multiple times because my little two love that, so we rode those a lot. But then after you leave the Seas, and just so you know, if you have strollers, they do not let you take strollers in all these buildings. So they have a stroller parking. It kind of changes, so don't hold me to this, but usually it's right over like here or right over here, and you kind of use the same stroller parking for both buildings. Be sure to take like a poncho or something if you go to Epcot to cover your stroller, or a rain cover, because your stroller spends a lot of time parked out in the open, and every time I go to Epcot we get rained on. I don't know, something about Epcot and rain. But your stroller does just kind of get left out in the open a lot, and there's not a lot of cover for the stroller, so you'll want something to kind of protect it, especially if you're there during a more rainy season. All right, so then we can go over land, and this is the land building here, and what is in the land is a restaurant. The name is, I'm blanking on the name, let me look at the name. They have Sunshine Seasons. That's a tongue twister. Okay, so that restaurant is in there, and they also have Chippendale Garden Grill, which is a character dining, and I highly recommend that. They're actually both really good restaurants. One's quick service and one is a reservation only. There is Soaring and Living with the Land, which is a really fun ride as well. It's a boat ride that takes you through agriculture, and it's very educational. So yeah, it's a good educational ride, but it's relaxing. It's a nice just sit down and relax kind of ride. And then Soaring is a kind of like it's a screen you watch, but you feel kind of like you're actually flying through the scenes that it's showing you, and it's like a hang glider is kind of like what it is, but you sit on it and it takes you up, and then you like are like going through like this like 3D type thing. You don't wear glasses though. I'm not really sure how that works, but it's a fun ride too. Then they also have a kind of like a movie there, and it changes. The one they have right now is kind of like about the planet and how to save the planet, kind of I don't know, you can watch it if you want. It wasn't anything amazing. It was just kind of like, okay, but it's somewhere to sit down and relax. So, all right, I think that's all there is there in that park or little building area. Then you can go on over to Imagination Building. And the only thing that I'm really aware of that's in the Imagination Building right now is the Figment ride. I don't think that's the actual name of it. Let's see. Journey into Imagination with Figment. That's the actual name. So, and I think that's pretty much all that's in there. Epcot has festivals, and different times of the year are different festivals. They have Festival of the Arts. They have Flower and Garden, Food and Wine. I think that might be all. There might be more, but I know of at least those three. And I've been to 2 out of the 3, and they all were really great. I really wanted to do Flower and Garden, but that trip got canceled. Okay, so this brings you to here, and you can either now go and do the lands, or you could keep circling this main Future World area. So we'll go ahead and finish off, I guess, this Future World area, and then we'll move into the lands. So if you walk all the way over here, you have Test Track, and kind of takes you through, the line's interactive, and you like create a car, and then the ride, you kind of get to test your car out in a way. And it's like a car that just goes through like different test phases, and then at the end it has like this fun fast part. The fast part to me is the only fun part. The rest of the ride I could do without. My son though, however, who's 11, loves Test Track. He thinks it's the best ride ever. So totally just a personal preference thing. If you've been to Disneyland, it's a similar setup ride at Lightning McQueen Racers. That ride though is actually a much better ride, but it's a similar track system layout. They use the same concept. So, and Test Track is actually the original ride. The Racers they took this and made that. So just so you know. But this ride goes down a lot. Anytime there's lightning or a storm in the near vicinity, they shut this ride down. So if you really want to ride this ride, be sure to hit it up if it's open and do it, because the ride without a doubt will shut down multiple times throughout the day, and it can be a hard one to get on because of that. So yeah, we always, if we want to ride that ride, that's kind of one of the first things we do so that we know we can ride it, unless we just don't care that day. All right, then next to that is Mission Space. And Mission Space is a simulator that kind of makes you feel like you're going into outer space. I have not ridden it, so I can't give you much more information than that. My husband and son rode it. They thought it was really neat, but they said they wouldn't describe it as enjoyable, but it was very interesting and a unique experience. So I don't know. You can kind of decide for yourself what you think of that. But and then here it has two future worlds, or lands or buildings. Let's see if I can focus that. I don't know. One's future of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and one is future home of play. I don't really know what either of those will be, so that's something to look forward to. All right, so that is basically everything in this first little main hub down here. So let's move up here to the lands. And the lands are my favorite area. The kids do not care for them as much, but I really enjoy walking through the lands. So usually if we're coming from this direction, we're going to hit up Mexico first. Obviously when we come from the Skyliner, we can't do that. So a lot of times we'll go off this way into France first, but sometimes we go the other way. So here in Mexico, there's a little Aztec temple, and there is a really cute little ride in there that has Donald Duck and the Three Caballeros. And then there's also a restaurant in there that's very good. There's some little like shops in there. It's just a fun little place to check out. I would definitely recommend at least popping in there and kind of looking around a little. It's really neat in there. There's also, now the lands are gonna have lots of food, lots and lots of food. And it's all themed for the land you're in. So I probably won't go through all the restaurants just because there's a ton and there's lots of kiosks, and they kind of changing in and out, and during food and wine there's even more. So Epcot is the place for food. If you want food, Epcot is your park. But across from the Aztec temple, they do have a Mexican restaurant, which is very good as well. And it has nice seating that you can see out over this like lagoon lake type thing they have here. It's a very nice place. So then you go next to Mexico is Norway. Norway has the Frozen ride, which is one of my favorites. That is the #1 ride that I want to hit up when I go to Epcot. The kids like it too, but I think I actually like it more than the kids. It's just a fun ride. And it actually was a ride before it was Frozen that talked more about the history of Norway. And the ride itself is actually the same, they just changed out the scenery. So if you've been a long time ago and you remember there being a ride there, it is still the same ride, just new scenery. And that was a fun ride too, but yeah, I really enjoy the Frozen. And then there again, there's shops. There's a food kiosk, I think, somewhere there. I've not actually eaten in this area. Then there's China. China has a little museum and a show that is about the history of China and stuff. It's a good show. Very nice museum. Very good Chinese restaurant there as well. Yeah, China's a nice little spot. And then you have a little bit of a walk over here to Germany. And Germany, you know, I've not done a whole lot in Germany. There's a lot of shops, but there's no ride or show that I'm aware of. Let me double check and make sure we didn't miss it. It's pretty much just some food and scenery and shops, but it's really pretty. The architecture of each of the lands is really nice. You almost can feel like you're actually there, especially if you get like right in the center and you kind of look around. It's fun. You kind of feel like you're there. So Germany, and then you have Italy is next. And nothing really to note of Italy either, other than it's pretty, food, shops. Then you have the American experience, and it's kind of like colonial America, and they have a very nice restaurant here that we eat at often, and right across from that is their like amphitheater type thing, and there's a lot of shows and music in there. That's where they do concerts with the Epcot concert series that they do in the past. I don't know if they're still doing that or not. Okay, then you come to Japan. Japan has a couple really good restaurants. And then Morocco. And Morocco, again, there's pretty much just a store there. I don't remember there even being dining there. They might have dining now, but at the time they just had a store and nothing else. But there is a lot more space there, so I don't know, maybe they'll put something in soon, because there's just not much in Morocco, but it's really neat architecture and stuff to look at. Okay, then next to Morocco, you come to France. And France is gonna be the hoppin' place, guys. That is where Ratatouille is, and it's gonna be opening up here in a few weeks. I can't remember the exact date, but it's very soon, maybe around the 1st of October. And I know the ride's actually up and running. Cast members have already ridden. Annual pass holders are allowed to schedule for a time to ride. So Ratatouille is there. They also have a show, a Belle like sing-along show. They have shops, there's food. It's a nice place, but yes, that is gonna be the place to go for a little while with Ratatouille opening. Then you get to the Skyliner station, and you do have to actually exit the park to get on the Skyliners. So you will actually exit and then get back on if you do the Skyliners, but that is where that is. There's also a boat there that will take you to the resorts that are there along that little waterway. So yes, the boats and the Skyliner. All right, then you come to the United Kingdom. And it's kind of all like just all in this area, and it's really cute. It's like you're walking through some little streets through London. You can usually see some characters like Mary Poppins and stuff in there. Winnie the Pooh a lot of times will be in there. There's also a really good fish and chips restaurant here that I love, and it's over on this side. That is a favorite of mine. Shops, no rides. Then you have the World Showcase, and it's kind of tucked back between United Kingdom and Canada. And if you don't realize it's there, it's easy to miss. It's just like a little walkway, and it just kind of looks like it's going into like maybe bathrooms or something. It really doesn't look like anything interesting, but there's actually a really big building back in there, and depending on what festival they're having, different things are in there. And it's not always open, but if there's a festival going on, a lot of times they'll have stuff in there, and it is worth checking out depending on the festival. So be sure to kind of look and see if that's open. Then you come to Canada. Canada, right down there. And Canada's beautiful. They've got this beautiful rock, like mountain type thing with waterfall, and they have a show also about Canada back in there, which is a very good like 3D, China's is this way too, it's like all the way around the room show, and it's very interesting and fascinating and beautiful. Like it's like a dome, and it's all just screens. It's worth checking out at least once. So that is everything Epcot has. Some things to note: they do a really fun thing for kids, which my kids loved doing this the one time, if you have time, is they have, and I looked for them, but I can't find them. Each world or land that you go to has like a little passport card that the kids can get, and they get like a sticker, and it shows that they went to that area, and they kind of looked around and did that thing. And then they have a bag that you can collect them all in. It's really fun. The kids really enjoyed going to each land and getting their little passport for it. And I want to say they got like a button when they got all the lands, but I can't remember. They got something, just some little, it was like one of those little buttons or a sticker or something that said they completed it, but they thought it was a lot of fun. And you can pretty much just pick the package up and start in any of the lands. But I would recommend starting in Mexico or Canada because you got to hit them all, so that would be the easiest way, so you're not like, oh no, we got to go all the way back over there, all the way back over here, because Epcot can be a lot of walking. So that is something really fun to note for the kids. I would highly recommend doing. Another thing for the kids is in the seas, they have these little books, which my kids always want, and sometimes you have to go ask for them because there's not someone out handing them out. But it's they have stickers. My kids have already done this, and it's a scavenger hunt, and you have to kind of go around and find these things, and then you put the sticker when you find it. They really enjoy doing this, and it's also a fun thing. There's a lot of interactive stuff to do in the seas. It's a really neat little area. I think that is all that they have right now. Epcot is getting ready to open up big and ready though for the 50th, and they're gonna have a lot of new stuff. I believe their new fireworks show might actually already be going. I kind of stopped paying super close attention to some of the news, so I've fallen a little behind. But I believe that's open. I remember seeing someone say that they were going to be filming that for YouTube, so I think that might actually be going on. If it is, I'll try and find a video and link it below for you guys. But yeah, so Epcot is definitely worth going to. I love Epcot. It is my second favorite park next to the Magic Kingdom. And yeah, I hope you found this helpful and informative. Let me know what your favorite land is at Epcot, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.